we've got this project going on, Flat Lay Photography Challenge, and one of the important parts about this is that you're able to use the exposure bracketing process, and you're actually able to label the exposure settings for each of the shots that you took. So I want to show you how you can check what your exposure setting was if you just happen to not write it down or something like that when you were taking the photograph. So here we go. I've got 3 images that we took the last time I made a video like this, and they look kind of like this. There's that one. That one's just a little bit brighter, and that one's kind of dark. It's fine. We don't know right offhand what the exposure settings were on those. Nas might remember from when he took those photos, but I'm guessing that he might not remember. So here's a way to find out exactly what the exposure settings were on these images. Have to hold out your finger. Have to push down on Control with one finger and click on the file name with the other finger, and we can go Get Info. When I click on it, once I click on Get Info, this little window pops up, and I can see a lot of information about this particular image. I can see the image name. I can see exactly when it was created or modified, the size, the exact location. You can see what the file extension is and a bunch of stuff. You can even see a little preview of it. This is what application opens it up. But in order to find out what the exposure settings were, you need to do this. Click on More Info. Click. All right, if you clicked on More Info, you start to get more things. This will say what camera took the image, what the pixel dimensions are, the device model. So there's the make and model right there, and talks about some of the color information and color profile. What the focal length of your lens was right there, if it has an alpha channel or not. But there you go. F-stop. F number right there is f4.5. Let's see, exposure was all in manual, and the exposure time was 1/125th of a second. So this information down here is mostly what you're looking for. The f-stop and the fraction of a second, or the shutter speed. So now that I know that, I could probably do this. I could take my f-stop, which is the most important one. I think we kept the shutter speed the same on all of those shots. I'm going to go rename this after the F number. So I'm going to name it F/4.5. So this might be a great way to keep track of your exposure setting on this. I want to show you another way that might be a little simpler. You can see right now, since I changed the file name, it's right there. Let's go click on this one, and instead of opening Get Info, I think I'll find this a different way. I'm actually going to just change my view settings and list everything in columns instead. So if I'm looking at column view, I can see where it is in the desktop right there. I can see that this is the image that I have selected, and over here in the last column I can probably go see, yep, the same information. So this one was shot at f-stop 13. There's the exposure time there also. So that's another way that you can find the same information. Let's see if I can do it this way. I'm going to click on that once and wait a second to click on it again. And I can go name this one F/13. There we go. Renamed 2 of those. That should give you an easy way to make something like this, where the student was able to put a label on each of the images that they turned in, labeled the f-stop correctly on all of these, labeled the shutter speed, even though slightly inconsistent the way that he told me the shutter speed was 1/125th and 1/250. I don't know which one was right. Probably the shutter speed and the ISO didn't change on any of your 3 shots, but there you go. You know a way to go find out the exposure information on your images after you shot them.